So the current genocide that's happening in Sudan and Ethiopia is part of the ongoing neo-colonialism that was established by the British Empire. These same colonization schemes today are the same tactics they used in the 1900s. As is mentioned in the CIA document called The Peace Conflict in the Sudanic Africa. This document was made May 19, 1972, but was published to the public in December 12, 2006. The document basically explains how these conflicts of themselves are marginal importance to the rest of the world. But for a variety of reasons, the US, France, the USSR, and China have some interests at stake. In the case of the United States, a major communication base, Cagnu Station, is located in the heart of the insurgent area of Ethiopia and is likely to be affected by events there. And instead of the Cagnu Station that was located in Asmara, Eritrea, today the United States have an army base located in Djibouti International Airport. Arabs and Israelis are involved in a complicated fashion, and there is a danger that the quarrels of Sudanic Africa may be caught up in, or become a part of, any future major outbreaks in the Middle East. And these communications with other nations all stem from master-slave relationships of early times. With only limited military support, colonial officials preserved the peace by keeping mutual antagonistic groups apart from each other. The civil war in Sudan was much more intensive in terms of people involved, ferocity of fighting, and intractable than the other Sudanic conflicts. And the United States still has an army base in Sudan called the Wadni Shudna. These army bases are involved in the conflict and genocide in these countries of Africa. These soldiers are taught to keep the conflict going so the United States' influence can have their authority over whatever they want in the region, such as minerals, natural resources, and guns. The governments of the Sudanic Africa and the leaders of the dissident movement are highly sensitive of pressures and influence from the outside world. All of the great powers and some of the lesser ones are at least marginally involved in the troubles of the Sudanic Africa. China recently established diplomatic relations with Ethiopia and is negotiating some rather large economic aid projects with Ethiopia and Sudan. The French are heavily involved in the affairs of all countries, from Chad westward to the Atlantic, and in the east, they govern the territories of the Afars and Isses. This small colony includes Djibouti, the terminus of Ethiopia's fall link to the sea. But here is the most exposing part of this article. If new political turmoil across in Ethiopia or Sudan, or if in the insurgencies flare up, the resulting tensions could bring the Soviets more directly onto the scene. If the Soviets were to take a more assertive posture, the conflict of the interest between the USSR and the US in this area will become much more obvious, and touchy situations could arise. As you can see, these conflicts are controlled, influenced, and emerge whenever outside nations want to install neocolonialism, or another word, colonization. The current brutal events that are happening in Sudan and Ethiopia are planned by outside nations who want control over territory or natural resources. And they are using Africans as a disguise to keep the facade on their people.